So for me, that's why I wanted to become a Navy SEAL. I wanted people to push me outside of my comfort zone every day. And I thought this was going to be the absolute best platform to do that. These guys, the stories I heard after BUD/S, it just gets harder. And I didn't see it that way.
Because BUD/S is just to become the SEAL.
That's right. I'm like, my God, I can't even imagine what the fuck's going to happen. But what happens to a lot of people, not everybody, can't speak for everybody, I don't know everybody. BUD/S breaks people down to the point where you don't want to be broken down again like that. To me, that was exactly the exact starting point for my journey in life. That was the starting point for me. For a lot of people, it's the finish line. And I didn't see it that way for me. So that's where I started becoming uncommon amongst uncommon people, is where I started realizing that you put people on a pedestal that you shouldn't. That you got to get in there yourself and examine people. See what's really about yourself. So once I got in there and realized, hey, these are just normal people. Yeah, they're a lot better than some. They're able to get through. I know a lot of people who can get through Navy SEAL training. But, there's a lot of mystique behind all that stuff. And as you start to go through and you start to break it open a little bit, a lot of hard guys, but, I wanted more. I wanted more. And
this is your strength. In certain respects, it's a superpower that you have, but it's also your Achilles heel.
Big time. Big time. I talk about it in the book a lot too. One thing that hurt me a lot was I thought everybody wanted the same thing I wanted. Not everybody wants the same thing you fucking want. Everybody wants to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and beat themselves and find more about themselves and shit like that. And I thought the SEALs did. Most people don't.
Yeah.
And I thought the SEALs did. I thought that's what, because every book you read, that's what everybody does. So I was hook, line, and sinker. So that mentality that I had, it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, once I realized that not everybody was like this in the community. And I was like, you know what, man? So then I started having chips on my shoulder. I had my own little thing I was doing with a couple guys, working out on my own, doing my own little thing. And when you start doing that stuff and you start to drive yourself away from people, and I was already different as it was, even if I didn't do that, I already came in being very different. Like I tell people, I was a part of the Navy SEAL teams. I wasn't part of the brotherhood.
Right.
And
You're not going out and partying.
I'm not going out. No, that's not me. That's never been me, though. Like, if I was in a college, if I was in I couldn't be part of a fraternity, man. I would never join a fraternity. Ever. I'd be like, hey, fuck you all, man. I got my own shit going on over here, man. Go fuck yourself. That's me. I don't like fraternities. So just me, when you join the SEAL teams, you're joining a big fraternity. So I was already asked out. So then when you're asked out not wanting to hang out, I wasn't a dick. I do my own shit. That's me. So I grew up wanting friends at a young age. And once you get self-esteem and shit, you know who you are. I was comfortable. You're not liking me, but not hanging out. And then you take it to another step further with this being hard mentality of if you guys aren't doing what I'm doing, you guys aren't shit. So I did a lot of things that push people the wrong way, that rub people the wrong way. And in that, being in the fraternity, it's like a big soap opera. It's like the fucking guiding light. And, people start not liking you for certain reasons. People don't know who the fuck you are. Rumor mills start happening. Then I have 2 heart surgeries. People think I don't want to fucking deploy overseas. Oh, Goggins don't want to fight. He just wants to run. But I'm not going out saying I had 2 heart surgeries. I couldn't even go fight. So just a lot of things happened. And within that, it's life.
Yeah.
It's
but
life.
Ultimately, that hurt your military career.
It didn't hurt it.
Didn't?
No, me looking back on it, I was who I wanted to be. I was who I wanted to be. So hurting it, I don't think hurting it is being an Air Force guy, being a Navy SEAL, being a Ranger. Yeah. My goals were finding the baddest men on the planet, working with the baddest guys on the planet. And the heart surgeries hurt me a little bit. But what I realized is I got a lot of growth from examining people. My insecurities, their insecurities, my military career was absolutely stellar. Not many people have pulled off honor man everywhere I went and done the things I've done. I didn't deploy as much as I wanted to. Yeah, I went to Iraq, stuff like that, but I wanted to deploy a lot more with the heart surgeries, keeping me out of training for 4 years. That hurt me a lot. But all in all, there's not many people who've done some of the things I've done.
Right. So not satisfied with just being in the Navy SEALs, you decide you want to go to Army Ranger School.
Yes, sir.
And you go and do that.
Yep.
And you distinguish yourself there. So, when the dust settles, you've done Air Force, what is it called? The program?
TACP. It's called Tactical Air Control Party.
Navy SEALs buds, and then Army Ranger School.
Army Ranger School. And I went to Delta Selection twice also.
Right, exactly. So how did that play out ultimately?
So at Delta Selection, I went the first time when I was so I went both times as a Navy SEAL, which is very frowned upon because we have our own little group there.
Yeah.
Dev group. So how that even came to be was after my second platoon where me and my guys didn't get along. We had a great deployment, but we didn't get along. Bottom line. Once again, it's how life is. When you come back in a fraternity like that, rumor mill flat, goes around and maybe Goggins has a bad attitude, don't work with him, whatever. So I didn't get my orders to go to DevGru. I actually screened for DevGru, didn't get picked up, or I got picked up to go to the screening process. I passed the screening process, was going to Green Team, a lot of these fucking things nobody knows about. But anyway, I didn't get my orders to go to DevGru. So I said, you know what? It's a good time for me to go try out for Delta Force. So I went there, got messed up. I fell down a mountain. My leg got trapped in a mountain or in some rocks, broke my ankle, messed up my ankle real bad. Then I had the heart surgeries. Then I went back to Delta, and I was getting ready to get to the very last day. And what happened there was I was getting real happy. I'm going to be a Delta guy. This is the shit. I can't believe it. I'm back in the game. And once you let your mind get unfocused, you get lost out in the woods. And out there going through Delta Selection, it's a lot of land navigation. And if you're not paying attention to that map and compass, and it was my last day before the 40-miler, and the 40-miler was like the big last thing you do, and I was going to fuck that 40-miler up.
Right.
But
that's your game.
That's my game, man. Yeah. And
there's one thing you're going to be able to execute on.
I'm going to fuck that up, man. You put weight on my back and go, man. I'm going to hurt you. And I was about 2 hours ahead of time, and I was just going through thinking, man, I'm fucking done. I made this shit, man. I'm going to go back into doing my shit. I'm going back out to fight, man, with an elite group, a tier 1 asset. I was so stoked. My mind got drifting away, and I got lost. And I found myself lost. I reoriented, I got fucking back on track, and I went to what I thought my last point was. I saw another student. I said, hey, man, we only got 5 points. He goes, no, motherfucker, we got 6. And I was like 45 minutes from drop dead, and I made it by 1 minute. And if you make it by 1 minute after making it by 2 hours every day, I was getting there 2 hours early every day. I don't know what the standard is at Delta. They don't tell you shit. And there's 2 vehicles you get into, man. One vehicle goes to another campground, meaning you're still here, and the other vehicle goes to some speed bumps back to your rack, saying you're getting a fucking airplane. I went in that vehicle.
Yeah, that was it. How many soldiers are there, though, that have gone through all of those programs?
I can say, honestly, I'm the only one.
You're the only one.
For 100% fact. I know for a fact, and I haven't Googled it and looked at it. I know there's nobody in the world who's willing to say, let me screen for Delta Force twice. Let me go to Army Ranger School as a Navy SEAL. Let me go to Navy SEAL. Let me go be in 3 Hell Weeks. Let me go to Air Force. So my military career was phenomenal.
There's a classic quote in the book. I think it's, as I recall, I think it's when you decided you wanted to go to Army Ranger School, and one of your guys says, he goes, man, Goggins, you're the kind of guy who would like to be a POW just to see if you could fucking do it.
He was my OIC, and I actually still talk to him today of my first platoon. I really respect the guy an awful lot. I wish I could pop his name, but I don't have his permission right now. He was a great leader because he understood me. As a good leader, you have to understand everybody that works with you. He understood the uniqueness that is me. And I'm a very different person. You gotta be a real fucking man to understand David Goggins. And I give him a lot of credit for this. Let me be me. And I screened, and he went to DevGru, but he said that before Ranger School because I put a chit in. A chit is a special request chit. I put 7 special request chits in to go to Ranger School as a new guy in the SEAL teams. It's like, why the fuck are you trying to go to Ranger School, man, as a SEAL? And back then, they were sending some Navy SEALs there for punishment. You know, they sent a few there, and I was going because I was like begging to go. I'm like, there's another challenge out there that sucks, that people don't want to go to, that I can grow from, that I can see some more uncommon motherfuckers out there that want to get hard and get after it. And I always found out one thing. When you're in training, that's where you find how people really are. I found the best out of people in training. That's why I love Buzz. That's why I love Ranger School. But once you get out of training, very few people keep that same mentality. It's like, hey, thank God I'm done with it. That's why I always love going back to scratch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the cool thing about Ranger School is you show up and they strip you of everything, so you don't know who anybody is or what the rank is or any of that kind of shit.
No, there's no rank, there's no shit.
And they just presume that you must have gotten in trouble, right? That's the only reason you'd be there.
Right.
So tell that story about.
So before I showed up to Ranger School, man, there were a couple of Navy SEALs got sent there for punishment reasons, and a couple of them quit. You know, not because it was too hard, I imagine, probably because, you know, fuck you, I'm not gonna be here for punishment. I'm not gonna get my ass kicked again. I went through Navy SEAL training, so it just came with the attitude of being there. So a couple of them said, I'm out. So that gave some of the SEALs a bad reputation at Ranger School, and then I show up and I'm like, yeah, I want to be here. And they thought I was just another guy that got in trouble, not knowing that I begged to come here and I begged to get beat on for 69 days and starve and lose 56 pounds like I lost. So it's like day 3, and they have, you know, an Army guy. We're all stripped to rank. I'm this David, you know, I'm this Goggins, and whoever, it's just your name. I mean, you could be a fucking major, you could be a general, and you're this Thomas. Mm-hmm. It's all the fuck you are, man. They don't care. So I'm hiding out, but I got my little Navy name tag on, so they can tell I'm a Navy guy, my little Navy hat, you know, so they know I'm a Navy guy. I stand out. And once again, there's not many black guys in Ranger School. So I'm in the back hiding out, and they tell the guy, hey, come up here. You're the first sergeant, and the first sergeant, you should know the Ranger Creed. So the guy goes up there and he goes, he fucks it up. And they go, hey, they look right at me. I know for a fact, old seaman back there, what the hell they call me, doesn't know this shit. I was like, motherfucker, I've been studying this Ranger Creed for a year. This is what I'm saying in my head. I get up there, man, recognizing I volunteer as a Ranger, fling on the heads of my chosen profession. I always endeavored to hope of Steve's honor, hospital call the Rangers. He goes, you're done. I went on. Acknowledging the fact the Rangers are more of these. He's like, what the fuck? So I went ahead and said the whole fucking Ranger Creed. Next thing I knew, he goes, hey, you're the new first sergeant. And I was like, fuck. Now, not only am I going through one of the best leadership schools, you have to be dialed in all day long. When I'm not out in the field getting graded, I'm now in garrison, having to be in charge of all these fucking guys in Bravo platoon. So Bravo company. So I was like, guys, so it was I was always had to be on the whole time.
Roger that.
Roger that. So I was like, fuck it, man. I guess I'm in charge now the whole time. But I never got fired. You know, most guys going through that, you get fired. And that's what led me to, getting the Honor Man Award.
Right. One of the things you don't talk a lot about is your deployments. Mm-hmm. I mean, you talk about that experience in Malaysia a little bit, only briefly in the book. So I'm just wondering what the rationale behind that. Like, are you not allowed to? Did you just think that it wasn't relevant to the story you were trying to tell? Well,
the thing about it is I deployed. I fought in combat, stuff like that. First of all, it's hard to relate to that. Second of all, I had to get all kind of fucking approvals from people to get that in the book and talk about it. And I didn't want to go through that process of, hey, can I put, what I did in Iraq in the book and stuff like that in the book. And I want my book to relate to people. There's enough Navy SEAL books out there talking about, running, gunning, shooting them up, stuff like that. That's never been, I don't want to be known as a Navy SEAL. Even though I talk a lot of, people want to ask me about it, Navy SEAL, that was a snippet of my life. That was a snippet of my life. And I want to be known as somebody much more than that, who did a lot more than that. So my book is about helping people. Mm-hmm. And I can't help people through what I did in combat. Mm-hmm. I can help people by what I went through in life itself. And I went out to, it was intentional to make this book about how can these stories resonate and help people. And, it wasn't like, hey, let me kiss my own ass.